All right, so this is a major pro wrestling week. We have WWE Royal Rumble this Saturday night, the 27th in St. Petersburg. Obviously, we're going to that. And the night before, the last stop before Royal Rumble, Friday night is SmackDown here in Miami, Kaseya Center this Friday night, Ticketmaster.com. You can get your tickets. Again, it's the last stop before the Royal Rumble. Shotzi is joining us here. She is going to be here in Miami. She will be in St. Pete for the Royal Rumble on Saturday. Great to have you on the show here, Shotzi. How many Royal Rumble matches have you been in so far?
Oh, okay. My first one was in 2020, so this one will be the fourth.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
So what was now 2020? That was a great atmosphere. 2020 was
Yeah.
right before COVID. What
Yeah.
was what did you learn from your first ever appearance in the Royal Rumble that you could take with you now? Because that's a hectic environment.
I mean, okay, so like I had probably been signed for like 2 months at that point, and honestly, I don't know that I learned much at that time. I think I was just soaking in um everything, and just I don't even know where my headspace was at the time. Like I was just like, oh my goodness, 3 months ago I was on the indies, and now I am in a WWE ring at my favorite pay-per-view, wrestling against like the most amazing women in wrestling. And my mind was just blown. So I don't know that there was a lot of learning, but there was a lot of just in awe.
How about like you're like you said, I mean it's almost ever next to WrestleMania, I guess. It's like everyone's favorite pay-per-view who grew up watching wrestling Royal Rumble. So do you remember what it felt like that moment that your music hit for the very first time, your first time in the Royal Rumble?
Oh, I was just so nervous, but I tried to remember to just like take a second once I got out there to just look at the crowd and just soak in everything. It was just that moment where I was just like, wow, I actually made it. Because like I said, like I had only been signed for 2 months at that point, and I was already in the Rumble. So yeah, it like I was holding back tears for sure.
How did you come up with the name Shotzi?
So Shotzi actually comes from a musical I was in high school. Um, my junior year of high school, I was in a musical called Starmites, and I played Shotzi, who's like this evil banshee alien lady that ate humans. Um, and it kind of stuck. It turned into like my nickname in high school, and then I just kept with it. I was actually Shotzi before wrestling, so it just turned into my wrestling persona.
Now, I loved the full name, Shotzi Blackheart. I know that's a thing where a lot of times you'll come up from NXT, you get to the main roster, and we just drop to one name. What was that character in that play's last name? Blackheart?
No, Blackheart comes from my love of Joan Jett. I love Joan Jett, so I wanted to pay tribute to her in my name. So Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. I'm a Blackheart. I will always be a Blackheart, even though you don't see it on my Tron anymore. I'm still Shotzi Blackheart for sure.
So you, as everybody can see, if folks are watching on the YouTube channel right now, and if you can't, I mean, Shotzi had the long green hair, for as long as I can remember. Your hair is very short now. You actually shaved your hair. I mean, obviously you shaved your head, but you actually did it on television in front of everybody, right?
Yeah, I did, which was really crazy. It's weird having short hair now.
And so, were you nervous? Because, I mean, look, anyone I imagine who shaves their hair for the first time is going to be nervous, but you're doing it on television. One take, you can't mess it up. There's no shaving my head a second time, you know?
That's true. Yeah, it's very nerve wracking because I've never shaved my head before. I didn't know how to use a razor until that very moment. So I was trying to get advice from people. But yeah, you're right. It was only one take. And I just went for it. But it was a huge change because I had the long green hair like my entire wrestling career. So to go from that to shaving it all off was pretty wild.
Now, I know you did it because you want to support your sister. You're honoring your sister. And do I have the story correct where you had the idea to do this and you told, creative with WWE, like I want to do this. Maybe we can make it into a story?
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. I was gonna do it anyway to support my sister. And I went to Hunter and I was like, hey, like, I really want to do this. If we can make it part of a storyline, that would be great. And he was all on board. And then he, went for it, got Bailey to be the instigator in the process. And yeah, we made it happen.
That's so awesome. Like you must have felt very supported by your coworkers.
Oh yeah, I mean Bailey throughout the whole process was so great, and she had so many ideas going in, and she really made it like her mission to make it important. And I think like what we got at the end, like when my sister finally saw the video, she was just so touched. Like she messaged me immediately and was like, "Oh my God, that was so badass! Like thank you!" Like so, yeah, we got the reaction that we wanted. So yeah, my
Awesome.
sister loved it. Yeah.
That's awesome. This Friday night, Kaseya Center here in Miami, SmackDown. It's the last stop before Royal Rumble. You can get your tickets, Ticketmaster.com. Congratulations on the marriage. I saw you got married a couple of weeks ago. Is your husband, is he a big pro wrestling fan?
He's a huge pro wrestling fan, like probably even more so than me. Like I'm actually in our toy room right now, and if you saw his side of the toy room, it is all of his wrestling action figures, like mostly Undertaker. So yeah, he is a huge wrestling fan. He will be at the Royal Rumble for sure, supporting me, supporting all the other wrestlers.
Okay, so how, when you met him, were you already were you already wrestling for a career?
I was already wrestling. Yeah. I didn't know that he was a wrestling fan until later, but yeah, yeah.
Was that something he had to keep a secret where it's like, I don't want to freak her out, She's gonna think that like I'm a crazy stalker and now I want to be with a pro wrestler. Like, was he keeping it a secret?
No, no, he was very upfront with it. He's like, "Oh, hey, like, by the way, I know who you are." you know.
That's
So,
funny. That's funny.
yeah.
How does I know every time we have pro wrestlers on my show, I like talking about the travel schedule. I know it's super grueling. So for my listeners who aren't as aware of how you guys work and how you guys travel, what's a regular week for Shotzi?
Well, I fly out on Thursdays for SmackDown, do the SmackDown, and then I have live events Saturday and Sunday, and then I come home Monday, and then usually, try to get some training in on Tuesday and Wednesday. So yeah, it's like a full schedule of wrestling and thinking about wrestling and watching wrestling.
And so what's the travel crew? You go to SmackDown Friday, then you got to get in the rental, you got to go to the other stops. Who do you travel the road with?
Mostly Scarlett and Cross. Like those are my besties. I'm always traveling with them. Sometimes Bianca, if she's not with her husband. But sometimes I like to just go out by myself and just, meditate in the car. Sometimes like those long drives are a good way for me to just decompress and just think about, I don't know, life.
So when did you fall in love with pro wrestling? Like all wrestling fans, like I have a moment when I was a little boy. Like when did you fall in love with pro wrestling?
I wasn't a huge wrestling fan as a kid. I watched it a little bit with my brother and we like played all the games growing up, but it wasn't until like um 2013 when I had like dropped out of musical theater college and I needed a new some sort of like performing outlet, and I was watching wrestling. I was watching the Wyatt family actually, and I was just like, they are so cool. I want to be the female version of them. Me and my sister would watch it together, and like we wanted to be them. We wanted to be a tag team and like be like the Wyatt family. So like that was the moment that I was like, I'm gonna start wrestling. I need to do this. This is my calling. Like this is like theater, but like aggressive and awesome.
When did you realize that, you know what, like I think I might be pretty good at this?
It was probably like, I don't know, like 6 months in, like I was really getting the hang of it. And like, I noticed like, hey, I'm kind of fearless. I'm kind of awesome. I kind of can do this.
Who's been your favorite to be in the ring with?
Oh, probably EO or Bailey. Um, they bring something out of me and they're just like so easy to work with. And I probably shouldn't say that because like they're bad guys, but like I really love working them. They bring something out of me.
Do you have a preference? What do you find easier or maybe more enjoyable, working as babyface or working as heel?
I think I gravitate towards being a baby face more just because like I'm so goofy and it's really hard for me to hide that. Like anytime I've had to be a heel, like being so serious and being like angry at people, like I don't know. I haven't found like my groove as a heel yet, I don't think. Like I'm just too ridiculous. I can't not smile and just be silly.
And how about war games? How did that go for you? Like, did you love
Oh,
how it went down?
I absolutely loved War Games. I think that was like definitely like a defining moment for me just because like just being in the ring and teaming up against with the women that I was teaming up against or teaming with you know champions that main evented WrestleMania, like I just looked at them while we were there and I'm just like wow, like my future is so big and like I'm in the ring with these amazing women. Just looking up to them and learning from them in that moment was eye opening.
I feel like there's so much going. Like we can say that about the Royal Rumble as well, but war games too. How do you keep your focus to make sure that you're in the right spots, you're doing what you need to be doing? There's a lot happening at once there. And by the way, keeping safe.
Yeah, it's a lot, especially like with matches like those. They're so unpredictable. Like you don't know what's going to happen with like these weapons that we're using. Like there's crazy timing with everything and there's so many people in the ring. It's a lot. It's a lot to juggle and like we plan it all the day of and it's a lot. It's a
Yeah.
lot to work with. So yeah, I feel like a lot of people don't give us enough credit for how much we have to juggle in these crazy matches.
Do you have a goal? Obviously, you want to win Royal Rumble on Saturday night. Who are you looking for when you get into that ring? Who do you have your eyes set on?
Oh my goodness. I'm not sure who all is going to be in there, but I don't know, everybody. Just chucking everyone out, everyone that I can.
Royal Rumble is so much fun. It's going to be a great atmosphere. Obviously, it's in a stadium, St. Pete. I'm gonna be there taking my son. It's gonna be really fun. Friday night, Kaseya Center, SmackDown here in Miami. Ticketmaster.com. Favorite horror movie for Shotzi? All time favorite horror movie? What is it?
So I'm a huge John Carpenter fan and I'm a huge Kurt Russell fan. You put those two together, you have The Thing. That is my all-time favorite horror movie. The practical effects alone gets me going. That's hands down my favorite.
Shotzi, excellent job. Good to meet you and good luck this week. And I appreciate you spending time with us.
So nice meeting you. Thank you.